Hello, welcome. This is Studio Source. My name is Alanna Royale. I am a musician, DJ, host, and trans youth advocate. Welcome. I found my way into the entertainment industry because at a very young age, I realized that every time I opened my mouth or did something, it got me attention. And honestly, attention is my carrot dangling in front of my face. I love attention. I love being out there. I love performing. I love engaging. It's like one of my favorite things in the entire world. I always say, I'm like Tinkerbell. If you don't clap for me, I die. My favorite part of entertaining and actually being out there and like doing my thing is truly, I joke that it's for the attention, but truly it is the engagement. It's being able to readily see immediately see the effect that I have on people and what it does. Every time I get off stage, whether it's DJing, whether it's singing, no matter what it is, there is someone standing there waiting to give me some sort of feedback about how something I said or sang or played touched on something that really resonated with them. And it sounds sappy and it sounds corny, but I have had some of the most profound experiences with complete strangers when I get on stage and I say something that to me is so casual, it's just something very obvious, banter, or I sing a certain song. It never fails to like bring someone into the fold, and there's something about that that literally makes life worth living. Being able to put something out there in a performance aspect, create something, curate something, and then someone immediately look you in the eyes and be like, that impacted me for whatever reason. It's remarkable. It's like literally I think the most amazing thing about music and art in general. So when you come to an Alanna Royale show, if it's like my live show and I'm singing and I'm with my band, there's definitely a lot of chatter. I love to talk. I love to run my mouth. And it kind of has created this difficult scenario on stage where I say things and people laugh and we have this like really good time. And then I write these songs where I'm kind of like spilling my guts and like putting some of the darkest, deepest out. And the transitions when I say something, it's just like funny. And then I'm like, okay, now this next song is going to be like really dark and really intimate. But I think there's something about the hills and valleys that is one of the reasons why it's so compelling, is like, I'm going to take you up, we're going to go down, and that's life. Like, that's just the way it is. There's nothing you can do about it. And I think being able to experience those highs and lows on stage is what kind of like is a little bit disarming for people. It kind of opens them up, makes them a little more vulnerable. And when I'm DJing, every DJ gig is different. Some people are dancing, some people are listening, your background noise. I DJed in all sorts of like bizarre scenarios inside like museums in Lake Tahoe, like out on the beach. Like I've done like all sorts of crazy things. And I think it's really like looking around and seeing who's out there and who is like physically reacting and engaging to what I'm doing. And I just follow that person and I see what's getting that person going. And it becomes like unbeknownst to these people, like a communication. I'm watching them and we're having this thing. And so I guess at the end of the day, no matter what I'm doing, it really is the humanity behind it. Whether these people are talking to me or not, I'm always looking for that connection. In my life as a performer, in my younger life, there were definitely many moments that I had with people, many interactions, engagements, words of wisdoms, critiques that I had that sort of like led me to where I am today. But if I'm going right off the bat, the first thing that I'm thinking of was when I was younger, I loved the band Coheed and Cambria. They were one of my favorite bands. I loved that they were like kind of heavy, kind of proggy, nerdy. The singer's Puerto Rican, I'm Puerto Rican. I just didn't know a lot of like Puerto Rican men who looked like my uncles that were like jamming, playing like weird rock and roll with this crazy high like pop voice. I don't know. It was just to me this bizarro thing that I just loved. And I ended up getting a production deal with the producers of Coheed and Cambria and going to their studio and working and making a lot of music. And that was like my first foray into like professional music, not just DIY, like VFW, punk shows and stuff like that. And the producer, Mike Birnbaum, he was sort of like my dream producer growing up. I was like, if I could work with this guy. And then I got him to come see me in New York. And he was like, yeah, let's work together. And I was like, holy shit, this is actually going to happen. And I was standing outside the club smoking a cigarette, talking to him. And he was like, what the fuck is this? What is this thing you're doing? Pointing at my cigarette. And I was like, I just smoke is what it is. And he was like, you want to fucking spit in God's eye? God gave you this talent, this voice. He was like, and you just want to like keep smoking until one day you're walking around with some like oxygen tank and you can't sing and you can't do this. And I was like, it was so aggressive. Looking back, I was a young woman and this like older man was speaking so aggressively to me, but it didn't feel like I was being attacked. It felt more like an alarm clock. It was like, are you kidding me? Like, you want me to work with you because you have this talent. You've proven you've had the talent, and I'm watching you do something to just chip away at that talent. And I was like, here's someone that I respect that's so like, on this upper echelon in my mind. And now this person is like, looking at me like, why would I invest in you if you're not caring for your instrument, if you're not caring for your body, if you're like, doing drugs and getting fucked up and partying and doing all this, it's like, then what are we doing here? And I was like, this person was almost like offended that I was not caring for my instrument, my body. And I was like, I am worth an investment, and I am worth the time. And there's something I have that's really special. And I have never forgotten that. And I haven't smoked since. In my life as an artist, especially as a vocalist specifically, I'm a big advocate for vocalists in general because I think that the human voice is, I know this, that it is one of the most misunderstood instruments, and I think devalued instruments in the world. We look at guitar players, we look at drummers, we look at, a violinist, you watch someone play in like a symphony and you're like, you see this and you like hail it like, wow, this person is really special. They're doing something really beautiful. But because most of us have a voice that works, we can all talk. And whether you're a good singer or not, you can make sound. Anyone can sing, whether it's good or not. It is so misunderstood what it takes to build this instrument. You can't see it. There's, when I go to my voice coach, when I started working with my voice coach, I just want to say shout outs to Sophie Shear, who is an incredible voice instructor. And I've been with her for years. And she is by far the most talented vocal instructor I've ever worked with in my life. When we would work together, she would just hold up a cross section of the human voice anatomy, and she would point as we were singing and doing things. And I realized that like I did not see my instrument as a tangible thing. You can't get it tuned. You can't get like it refretted like a guitar. You can't replace the heads. There's all these things that you can't do. If you're anxious, if you're depressed, if you're malnourished, if you're thirsty, if you're tired, literally that instrument is going to be different every time you pick it up. And I think that there's something that's fundamentally missing from like our consciousness about like the human voice. And because it's inside us and it's part of like our human existence, it is the most powerful thing in the world, right? And so I have taken care of my voice at an unprecedented level. I've had severe vocal injury. I have come back literally from the dead. There was a point where I couldn't actually talk anymore. My vocal cords would not shut all the way. I could not produce like a vibration between my vocal cords to make sound. You could hear air coming out as I was talking, like it would just like a sound. There is so much in the human voice that's so powerful, and we have to care about it, and we have to treat vocalists like the special prima donna little babies that we are, because literally one raindrop, the humidity outside, can change my whole day. Okay?
I love that.
I don't even remember what the question was. When I am preparing for something as a vocalist, I always remind myself that even the fastest runner in the world has a coach. And that coach is not the fastest runner in the world. Even Celine Dion has a coach. There is someone out there who can see you outside of your own perspective. That's why artists like to have producers, because it's like, well, we can write the music, we can make the music, but having that outside perspective to look in, there are things that I do when I'm singing that are literally so ingrained in my physicality that I don't even know I'm doing them, but my voice coach can watch me. She can give me notes. She can tell me here and there, like, here's something that I'm noticing. I'm hearing this thing. Hey, did you notice that? And I'm thinking about the lyrics, emoting, expression, my physical engagement, being a band leader, listening to my band. There's like a million things going on. And she's like, hey, when you get up here, I can feel like you're getting a little bit tense. Maybe we need to like work on that a little bit. Warming up, taking care of my body. I'm vegan. I don't drink alcohol. I literally drink nonstop water, like all day. Your vocal cords are one of the last places in your body to receive hydration. So if you drink some water before you go on stage, that ain't it, baby. We need to be doing this all day. And when you're on a plane, in the van, on a train, going to the show, yes, I do stop every 30 minutes to go to the bathroom. And you can ask my band, they will confirm it takes us 100 hours to get from here to Chicago. But I don't care, because when I get on that stage, this is the ticket. This is the golden ticket. It's my name on the shirt. It's my name on the ticket. If the bass player flubs, if the guitar player flubs, people aren't even gonna freaking notice. But if I'm up there and shit is not right, if I'm not aligned, if I haven't exercised for the day to get my anxiety out, if I haven't stretched my neck, if I haven't given my body what it needs to like move on in a healthy way, we gonna notice that. There's not gonna be any hiding that. We've all seen it. I'm not gonna name any singers, but we've seen the videos. Oh my God. Oh, so many things. We have this thing in the back of our van called Pee Blanket. And there's a lot of lore around Pee Blanket, but years ago when I first started touring, I like to be very comfortable on the road. In my show, I will get in high horse drag. I've got big hair, nails, glam, everything. But when I am in the van, I am literally like a baby, like going to sleep. I'm like in my sweatpants, in my comfy shoes. I never have my shoes on in the van. I'm always like beanie, everything. And I always have this blanket in the van. And we broke down. This was like when I first started touring. We broke down the side of the road in like Alabama or Louisiana. I don't even remember where we were. And we waited for so long for someone to come help us. And I had to go to the bathroom so bad. So I literally like wrapped this blanket around me and I went to go pee on the side of the road. And the wind blew, and everybody said I peed on this blanket. And I know that I didn't. But an old man pulled up right while I was peeing on the side of the road, wrapped in this blanket. And he had like no teeth and a German Shepherd in the front of his truck. And he started talking to us. And I literally was like trying to like get around the van, around the door to like get away from this old man. But everybody just started calling this blanket Pee Blanket. So anytime someone came in the van, someone would be like, hey, can you hand me Pee Blanket? And new people in the van would be like, oh God, like what? Please tell me there's not piss on this thing. And they were like, when I'm touring with Alanna, like, there might be a chance that there's piss on it. I don't, like, when you tour with me for long enough, you're like, I literally have no idea what to expect. And that's just one thing that comes to mind that we've just had, and it's been in the van, like, we take it out and wash it all the time and, like, bring it back in the van, and, like, it's been there for, traveling with me for, like, maybe 8 years, 9 years, my Pee Blanket, and it's so comfy, I love it. Oh, wait, I have a really good one. Okay, one of the funniest things in my mind that ever happened was I was on stage at this like giant festival and I was doing this call and response thing with the audience, like counting off, like I say this, you say that, and I went over and I touched my bass player and his bass wasn't grounded and it fucking electrocuted the hell out of me. And I completely fell off time. I literally had no idea what was going on. And I was like, it like literally shocked the hell out of me. And I was so shocked. My drummer was like out of time, like everything fell apart and the audience was like, it was so confusing, everything. And my drummer literally just like counted off and just started playing the song straight through. And I was just like lost in a daze because I got electrocuted like fucking crazy. And the audience was lost. I was lost. The whole band was lost. But you know, my guys, they pulled through. Man, I gotta say, I think Seattle might be one of my favorite places. The soul community in Seattle is super dope. I've always loved St. Louis. It's funny when I meet people from St. Louis, I'm like, oh, I love St. Louis. And they're like, really? That's so weird. That's like never the reaction people get about St. Louis. The fans in St. Louis are so dedicated. They have brought me gifts and treats and food. Like people will text me and be like, or, you know, DM me like, what do you want to eat? Bring me things. Like San Francisco, Seattle, St. Louis. There's just like Chicago. I think like there's something really special in the Midwest and the West Coast for me for sure. Even though I'm an East Coaster and I got love, you know, for East Coast, but like Midwest and West Coast just always hit it right for me. So when it comes to my original music, my name is Alanna Royale, like I said. I have a single out now and I can't say much more about that. But if you follow me and stay tuned very soon, I've got a lot of really cool stuff that's coming out 2023. And I think that's as specific as I can get, but it's been a long time coming. My last record, I started January 2020 and was like, here we go, we're making a new record. Everything is right. And I was supposed to go on this big national tour opening for my favorite band in March and 2020. And from January 2020 till now, I have been sitting on a record that I've been waiting to put out and things are coming very soon. And I just feel like I've been like pregnant for like 100 years. Shout out to anyone who's actually been pregnant. Not me. Couldn't be me. The difference between performing live and actually getting in the studio to like lay something down for me is humongous. I get on stage, I've got every confidence in the world. I know I'm about to sing the house down. I know I can win over any audience. I've never felt more confident about anything in my life than when I get up on stage and with my mic and my band and I'm doing my thing. The studio is just crippling anxiety. The idea of putting, like, the live show is just like this experience, and it's like boom, boom, boom. And there's so many aspects to the live show that can make it good or bad. And, we like to build so much into it. The studio, for me, is a direct reflection of what's going on up here. It is literally like, when you're on mushrooms and they're like, don't look in the mirror. Don't look in the mirror. You don't want to see what you're going to see. That is literally what going in the studio is for me. It's like, you're about to look in the mirror. This track, we're putting it down. Once it's down, you have to find peace within yourself to let it go. Once we've made a decision that you loved, it's okay to like go back and change and edit, but it's like I've been very good learning like how to let things go. Like in the moment, this was what you thought was dope. Put it down. This is the best you could do at this time. Give yourself room to grow. Yes, I listened to my last single that came out, the record I've made, and when I sing it live now, and I'm rehearsing it now with my band for touring in 2023, I'm like, God, I wish I could sing it like this on the record. And it's like, well, then where would you grow into? What would be the next phase? Everybody gets better with time. You always want to have a place to go. And so when I get in the studio, I have to face all of these things, all these neuroses. And for a lot of people, I feel like it's the opposite. They can work in the studio, they can be doing their thing, and they're like, it's peace and quiet, and it's just me. And I'm like, I don't want to be with just me. Me is scary. I love the audience. I love the spontaneity. I love moving and doing all these things. I'm a very like collaborative person. The studio is like, okay, like this is focus time. Like this is like, what decision have you come to that we're gonna like all say like, yes, we're solidifying this and this is on tape forever. And that's a big deal for me. But I've learned the hard way how to move through those uncomfortable feelings. I've said things before in the studio or to my producer that when I look back are almost embarrassing because I was on this like self-deprecating train, and that constant self-deprecating joke thing that people do is not that funny. If you're an artist, I'm literally begging you to find a good therapist and get past that shit, because nobody wants to hire someone who's constantly self-deprecating, because at some point they're going to say, good point, why am I hiring you? If you're fucking whack or there's someone else right around the corner that's better than you, then why are you here? And I've had to face that, and it's embarrassing. I was on the phone. This is actually a really personal story, and I'm gonna share something like very vulnerable with you guys. I was in the middle of working on my record, pandemic style, everything was crazy. I literally drove from Nashville to San Francisco with my dog in my car so I could go finish my record where I started in January 2020. It was crazy. And I was at home in Nashville, and my producer called me and he was like, yo, I just had this dope idea if we do this thing on this track. And I said, what, get another singer to sing it? And it was like crickets. And he was like, anyways, so, and it's like, dude, we're working right now. We're like moving forward. We're like trying, we're all excited about this thing. And then you bring this like mucky, ugly energy into it because you're so insecure that you want to make this joke, but like, we're working right now. Not everything can be like jokey, haha, oh, Alanna's, whack or whatever. And it's like, you have to let that shit go, because you are literally like suffocating your own art. You're suffocating your own abilities. And like, you're not allowing your mind to just go into the vastness of yourself because you're so hypercritical. You have to let it go. Find a good therapist. Also, shout out to my therapist, because, she's amazing too. All right. If I could give any artist one piece of advice, this is what I would say. And this is something I've learned myself, and this comes from direct personal experience. It's good to aim high. It's good to aim higher than you really feel like you can reach. Like, it's good for you to be in your bedroom making a record by yourself and be like, I want to win a fucking Grammy. You should say that. You should say it out loud every day. You should say, I want to win a Grammy. That's fine. That's good. In between you being in your bedroom making a record and winning a Grammy, you're going to come into contact with all these different people, players, arrangers, engineers, managers, agents, labels, venue owners, whatever. It's good to be like, I want to reach out. I want this person who's like above me to hear my record, to book me, to do these things. Don't ever forget that there are people around you already that believe in you, that you can form a core group of people who are like rah-rah on your shit. And you don't have to get the approval of the people up here, because you already have like a loving team of people who either collaborate with you artistically, want to manage you, someone who's like, hey, I work at fucking TGI Fridays, but I want to be a music manager because I will do anything to put you where you want to go. there's already a circle of people around you that really think you're dope. And if you can find this like core group and you can just all work and move together, it really doesn't matter what's happening up here. We have the internet now. Shit is limitless. Literally one TikTok video can change your entire life, right? So go with the people who are here for you now, who ride for you now, and will make you better and will push you to be better instead of waiting for the approval of people up here. Because most of the people up here, they don't fucking know what's going on. They're not cool. You're cool. You make cool shit, and they figure out where to put it. They don't make cool shit, and I just want you to remember that. Thank you all so much for joining me for my studio stories. My name is Alanna Royale, and you can find me literally at Alanna Royale on any social platforms because I'm the one and only.